it would be nice to just have some background and present and future. So that's how I wish to set the context. Would that be fine?
But since you have my introduction already with you, you could give that, and then I could.
I will do that. Yes, yes, of course. I will do that. I will do that. Okay.
Let's start the session. Today's session, as it's already time to start the session. Let's start the session today. Good morning and virtual greetings to everyone present here. I am delighted to welcome all the distinguished panelists and the moderator to today's session on gym equipments. Udyog Manthan inaugural was addressed by the Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry, Shri Piyush Goyal, on 6th January 2021. This series of the webinar is being run from January 4th to March 2nd, 2021. Today's webinar on gym equipments aim to draw in the best practices and experiences of select sectors and industry experts in order to identify challenges related to quality and productivity by the Indian industry with the view of solving them to promote the vision of vocal for local and Atmanirbhar Bharat. The deliberations from these webinars will culminate into the creation of a compendium of sectoral recommendation on quality and productivity that will aid industry competitiveness, leading to a great demand for Indian products and services, thereby leading to export promotion and import substitution. Before we proceed further, a few housekeeping announcements. Request all speakers to keep their videos on and mic on mute till the time we request you to speak. The broad flow of the program will be we'll have short address by eminent speakers followed by a Q&A session. All the participants joining us are most welcome to post your question using the chat box. Now I would request Mr. Uday Singh Meena, Director DPIIT, to set the tone for today's session. Over to you, Mr. Meena.
Thank you. Am I audible? Very good morning.
Yeah, sir. Good morning, sir. You are audible.
Sorry, there is some problem with my video. I will try to get it back. But to start with, since the time is our session time has started, so kindly bear with me. I will be on audio mode right now.
No problem, sir. No problem.
A very good morning and warm welcome to all of you. Formally, I welcome all who are giving us time on Saturday morning. Wish you a very happy and healthy New Year. Being healthy is the target to be achieved by the industry. And the industry experts are there, the gym equipment industry. First of all, I thank the Udyog Manthan team, steered and led by Dr. Vandana Kumar, Joint Secretary, DPIIT, for giving me the opportunity to set the tone for today's webinar. Let me talk about some statistics which are very promising for the industry. The Indian fitness industry is projected to grow at a CAGR of 15% by 2023. And the global fitness market, if we see, is expected to reach about $15.27 billion by 2026, whereas the global market growth rate is about 5.2%. And the industry is valued at approximately rupees 2,900 crores. And the major share, if we talk about the states, is being taken by Maharashtra, but northern region is also catching up as there is awareness about fitness in the northern region. The testimony for this is the increasing number of gym and health clubs, not only in northern region, but across the nation. Treadmill, stationary bikes, elliptical cross trainers are the favorites. And now, if you see with the changing scenario the fitness equipment has found their presence in hotels, offices, corporate offices, educational institutions, residential colonies, the parks, and these days the new concept is the garden gym equipment, an open air gym equipment, totally mechanical equipment. While going through the statistics, the general exercise equipment emerged as one of the category leader in the domestic export product segments. And if we talk about import, in the previous webinars also, I come to the conclusion that the biggest import is originating from one country, which is a challenge which we have to overcome. It's a gym equipment industry is, I can say, it is a practical implementation of the right calculation of the tensile stresses and strains, leverages, pulleys, trusses, all concepts of mechanics subject. So if I do a SWOT analysis of the industry, so the industry is attributed to high value of equipments, treadmill, cross trainers, as I said. So and India at present doesn't have the requisite manufacturing capabilities for these categories. The industry leaders are there. This aspect can be made more clearer. This industry is far less capital intensive than the automobile industry. This is a comparison I thought about it, because the components being used in automobile industry, the raw material, fitness industry also requires almost the same with a precision. So if we can manufacture world-class automobiles, so why not the gym equipments? This precision industry is to improve the output of an athlete. A very essential part of the production process is the labor force. India is such a vast country, and we have the specialists, especially cardiovascular equipment, trained and skilled engineers are required for the industry. We don't have any dearth of highly qualified mechanical, electronic, and IT engineers in our country who can design this precision equipment. And as far as the marketing is concerned, we are the world's. I can vouch that we are a global leader for marketing our product. But still the Indian gym equipment industry is an underdeveloped area of the economy. But it has promises. It can become a very rewarding industry. This industry will help not only the manufacturers of the equipment, but other stakeholders, and will give a boost to the entire economy as a whole. India isn't lacking. We just need to realize and put to use these underutilized resources that could make India a manufacturing hub. This is a belief which is possible with the industry leaders present over here, creating a synergy between the manufacturer, marketing forces, the government, and creating awareness across the country. And we have a visionary honorable Prime Minister who has given us the vision of Fit India and has given the direction to the industry. In the COVID scenario, this industry has also faced challenges. Gymnasium got closed. The businesses got stuck up. But still, we have to think it as an opportunity. A paradigm shift is the need of the hour. People are now more aware about fitness. COVID has made us more aware that we have to improve our immunity. We have to be fit. We should be ready to overcome pandemic like COVID. So the answer to all this is the fitness industry, the gym equipment, and you can design precisely. And if I see in the years to come, in the coming years, maybe every household will own a gym equipment. The challenge for us is to make it cost effective, to be affordable to a simpleton person like me who can also own a gym equipment at home. Even if the pandemic strike, God forbid, anything similar to this happen in future, but still we should be prepared. We have to make every Indian fit, healthy, and we have to achieve the goal of Atmanirbhar Bharat. And to achieve that, the domestic manufacturer should come up further. We have to give a competition. We have to give our products to the other nation and prophesize the vocal for local concept. And our product should be seen at the international level. Everybody is aware about their fitness. Everybody has played. The sporting personalities are there in the forum also. So, if you agree that it is a precision industry, the gym equipments, every strain, every cord matters a lot, and it has to be balanced. It can improve the not only the fitness, it can improve the efficiency, and you can help in achieving the athlete the perfect fitness to attain to bag in a gold medals in Olympics and Asia competition for the nation. However, a wrong designing of the equipment may result into catastrophe and may end up the career of an athlete. So this is the importance of the industry. You cannot take it. Anybody can make an equipment. During my engineering days, one of my batchmate, they designed a gym equipment on their own in the 90s with the available resources. What they lacked was the precision and the lightness. Though the complete gym set was utilized further in our hostel for building up our fitness. So if it is, I feel if it can be done in 90s, we have the capabilities. They were the students, and as a part of the engineering project, they have done it. And here we have the specialists, experts who can not only manufacture, design to the requirement of an international athlete, and give us more national athlete who are promising to win medals. And in a very recent years, where the promising athletes have come up. And I'm sure that this industry must have helped in improving their performances. We have to turn around. It's the domestic industry which has to take lead. And one question from my side at the start only: how government should help you? Whether we should whether there are under invoicing concepts are there. So you may be knowing the better. We should be made aware. Shall we put a restriction on imports on certain items, and how to go about it? The forum is open. I will not take much of your time, your important time on this Saturday evening. So I invite Ms. Sushma Morthania, founder and DG of India SME, to take the session further as moderator. Thank you very much. And kindly bear me. I will log out and once again come back so that you can see me also. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Meena sir. Thank you very much for the introduction and setting that context in perspective. Once again, welcome to all my co-speakers and the August panel present here today. Welcoming also all the participants here, and wishing all of you a very, very happy, healthy, and safe New Year. On today's webinar on gym equipment industry, I would just like to, before I start with the panel discussion and we start, I would just like to mention about the key trends in this industry and what are the challenges the industry is facing today, so that we revolve our discussion around that, and how quality and productivity can be increased for this sector, so that we are able to fulfill our Atmanirbhar Bharat mission. So the key trends of this sector, the health chain, enter equipment training, retailing. Leading health club chains are moving towards equipment retailing. Emergence of new distribution channels. So with the advent of cable television and internet, tele-shopping and online shopping, uh, and social media have emerged as new distribution channels in fitness industry. People prefer buying fitness equipment online as it allows product comparisons, saves time, and it's convenient. Teleshopping works, networks sell home fitness equipment through telemarketing. Abdominal exercisers is a popular fitness equipment sold through telemarketing. These are some of the key trends that are being observed. And the challenges faced by this industry. This industry is fairly fragmented, since the majority of the market appears to be dominated by a large number of mom and pop gyms. Organized fitness services account for merely 25% of the overall fitness industry. There is lack of standardization, very less focus on research and development. Majority of the fitness equipment is imported in India due to low reliability of the Indian equipment. Fitness machines made in India do not match the high standards of imported equipment. Due to a lack of technological skills, quality issues frequently crop up for machines made in India. So with that as a base, we want our discussion to revolve around these challenges and how do we meet these challenges. We have entrepreneurs here who can give us the ground experience, and we have experts who have had experience of moving world over and help us how we could bring in best practices and best technologies through licensing or JVs or collaboration to make the best gym equipment. So with that, I would like to first call in Shri Deepak Devanji. Deepak Devanji is the Chairman and Managing Director of Cardio Fitness India Private Limited. He is best known for introducing the business of fitness to India and launching top international brands in the SAARC region over 2 decades ago. Established in 1995, his company Cardio Fitness was the first professionally managed company in the country to promote, sell, and provide after-sales support for fitness equipment. The achievements of Cardio Fitness India under his leadership have been recognized and rewarded by the company's international principals year after year. Deepak ji is recognized internationally for his unparalleled contribution to the fitness industry. His home brand, Celebrate Life, was started with a vision to make value for money equipment without compromising on quality, to make quality fitness equipment more accessible to people in India. Today, it is the fastest growing made for India brand and a recognized A-list brand in the fitness and spa industry in India. So Deepak ji, we would like to know your perspective. We are aware that apart from hospitality, gyms and fitness has been the worst affected sector. Yeah, Uday Singh Mena ji wants to say something.
Shushma ji, sorry to interrupt you. Just customary, a very good morning. Wanted to show myself, and I am there. I wanted to hear from the industry. Thank you, Malab. Please proceed further.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I was in fact inviting Deepak Devanji to give a perspective on how the industry has been 2 decades ago, and how does he perceive the industry's fare in the in the coming year, and how does he see the future, and how do we fill in this gap of quality and productivity. Over to you, Deepak ji. You are on mute, Deepak ji.
Yeah, good morning, everybody, and thank you so much, Sushma ji, for giving the introduction. Good morning as well to Mr. Meena for setting or giving the context of the webinar today. What I'm going to do is that, considering the background and the experience, I will give a background overview from the time when we got into the fitness industry, and then move forward to as the industry grew and in which areas did it grow and how it developed over the years, and finally to the current scenario, and including the COVID times and the impact of COVID on the gym industry. So going back to the background, when we got into the business, let's say 1994, this was fitness as such was never a priority with anybody. And if I may, also speak in the present context, even though the awareness for fitness has grown over the years, it unfortunately continues to be the last priority, if I may say so. So there's an apparent, let's say, dichotomy in this statement, where on the one hand, I'm saying that the awareness has grown over the years, and yet I'm saying that it continues to be the last priority in India. We can see that if you take into consideration the population that we have in the country and the percentage of people involved in fitness, or the kind of sales that of fitness equipment in the country. So when we got into the business, the major market was coming primarily from the hospitality industry, because anybody who wanted to get into the 5-star category, having a fitness or a studio or a health club in the hotel was an essential criteria to be able to get a 5-star rating for that particular hotel. So the major share of the market at that particular point of time, let's say in the early 90s, was the hospitality segment. And here again, the attitude was, okay, let's buy some fitness equipment because this is the criteria that needs to be fulfilled to get a 5-star rating. So the approach was such that they would tell a kitchen equipment manufacturer or a kitchen equipment supplier or a glass dealer, okay, we want some fitness equipment and, please get it for us, kind of thing. So the approach was generally very disinterested. And that is where we started making effort and making them realize that it is an important factor. And as we move forward, this is going to be one of the factors on the basis of which a guest is going to decide in which hotel they're going to stay. So as we moved forward, then we started promoting fitness equipment in the corporate sector. There were independent gym clubs, or even in the real estate. And generally everything, even without naming any particular real estate developer, some of the top real estate developers would again put gym equipment and so, okay, let's put any gym equipment manufactured in India. And at that particular point of time, there were a few gym equipment manufacturers where, let's say, as far as strength equipment is concerned, there was a certain kind of quality that is there in terms of, let's say, finish of the product, but in terms of biomechanics and physiology, it was not really up to the mark. And as far as cardiovascular equipment was concerned, there was a couple of manufacturers making treadmills and cycles. The cross trainers had not been introduced at that particular point of time. But the quality was really very, very basic and not up to the mark, and nowhere near the international standards that were there, even prevalent at that particular point of time. So at that particular point of time, we were the ones who promoted that it is important to get good fitness equipment into the hotel, because it is very important for the guests and the whole experience that the guest goes through while staying in the hotel. But this good quality equipment was only available by international brands, which meant that all this equipment had to be imported. Now, similarly, independent gyms, again, the issue with most of them was because when we started off in the industry, there was a very high rate of import duty. When we started the business, the import duty was 85%. And over the years, the government has realized that it makes more sense to reduce the duty. And the current scenario, as far as customs duty is concerned, they have reduced it to a very reasonable level. But there are other factors, and I will get into that detail a little later, to encourage, let's say, people getting into the fitness business. And as Mr. Meena mentioned in his talk, is that if we can, let's say, make a mark and come up with, let's say, international quality auto components or make automobiles in the country matching the international standards, why can't we do that in the gym equipment? So whilst it is true that we do have the technical capability of making something that is technologically advanced, in the fitness industry, as far as gym equipment is concerned, it goes beyond just technological competence. Because here you see human physiology and biomechanics plays a very important role. And as Mr. Meena also mentioned that, it's very important that we get the right equipment for our sports people so that we are able to make the kind of improvements to catch up on the international sports scenario and win, the gold medals for the country. And therefore, it becomes very, very essential that whilst we look at this development in terms of making gym equipment in India, the one thing that is very, very important is that we must have the right kind of people who understand human physiology, who understand biomechanics, and then fitness equipment is manufactured in India. And for that, as far as the current scenario is concerned, one of the best ways of doing that would be to get some kind of a, let's say, tie-up or with some of the international brands and start making equipment in India, which is actually the way that some of the other countries, and again, I have no hesitation in naming the country that we're actually wanting to sort of take over from, because China happens to be the biggest manufacturer of fitness equipment, and they started off by copying international brands to a point where international brands started going there. And over the period of, let's say, the last 2 decades, the quality in China has improved. But the good thing for India, as far as we are concerned today, is that there is a huge China sentiment. There's a huge sentiment against China, which is a huge positive for India. And India is going to be, and it is projected from that point of view, from all industries, not just the gym equipment, that India is meant to be one of the biggest gainers out of the sentiment that exists against China in today's time. Now, none of this can happen overnight. Even the improvement there in countries like Taiwan, they're very good manufacturers of fitness equipment, but generally speaking, they're more known for cardiovascular equipment than for strength equipment. And similarly in Korea, they are making both good strength equipment as well as good cardiovascular equipment. But in terms of if you get into their production lines, they're not as well organized as, let's say, even Taiwan is. So they're also improving as time goes by. But the country that is doing very well besides China is Taiwan. So we need to make sure that we get the right kind of associations or tie-ups to be able to manufacture good gym equipment in India. And in order for that to happen, see, as was stated by the segment letter that was introduced by the current segment that we're talking about, is that the general problem with the Indian gym equipment is that it is not of good quality, and there's an apparent contradiction in this segment letter that has been introduced, because on the one hand, it is stated there that the Indian equipment is not up to the mark and the quality is not up to the mark, and therefore it needs improvement. And yet, in the next subsection of that letter, it is also stated that the the quality ecosystem that is followed in India is TQM and TPS and ZED, which is TQM is Total Quality Management, and the TPS is the Toyota production system, and ZED, which is the zero product process defects. But if that was really the quality standards that were being followed by the Indian manufacturers, then we wouldn't have a problem. The fact of the matter is that the gym equipment manufacturers, barring a couple, are really a cottage industry in today's time. And people claim, again, as much and as keen as we are about Atmanirbhar India and Make in India, we have to make sure that there are certain quality standards that are maintained when claims like this are made. And that is how the automobile industry has improved. There was a point of time when, let's say, the international brands or top automobile manufacturers hesitated in buying from India because they felt that the auto components from India were not up to the mark. But look at the kind of progress that they've made. And there is a huge difference between the automobile industry because the volumes related to automobile industry are very different from the volumes that are related to the gym equipment manufacturer, especially in the current scenario. There's a huge potential, undoubtedly, but how long is that going to take? And for that to happen, the biggest thing that is very important is that there has to be a change in the mindset. Therefore, which is where fitness has to become a priority. Now, over the years, what has happened was that initially, fitness was seen purely as something that will bring physical benefits to the person who's practicing fitness or is a fitness equipment user. But over the years, they realized that the benefits go far beyond just physical benefits. It's a huge de-stressing factor. It gives mental strength, and you attain a certain kind of balance, which in fact then helps in, let's say, improving your productivity in the official part of your life as well as at home. And because when you come up in a de-stressed manner, then you're able to handle situations at home also in a much better manner. Now, the other essential element that has come up, especially during COVID times, which makes the fitness industry very, very important and critical in the overall scenario, is that one of the major things that we talk about in the COVID scenario is that, our nutrition has to be very good. The second thing is that we have to be medically, we should be able to get the right kind of medicine to be able to build that kind of resistance in our bodies. And the third thing is immunity. Immunity is a very, very important factor to be able to fight any kind of viruses or infections. And one of the basic benefits that comes from fitness is that it builds immunity. So therefore, if you consider that, it actually makes it one of the most important industries in any particular country. And therefore, the potential that the gym industry has is huge. But we have to move into that direction with a lot of facilities that need to be given. And in order to encourage the gym industry, like it has been done in a lot of other industries, whether it was telecom, whether it was automobile, or garments, or even pharmaceuticals. Well, what needs to be done is that there have to be SOPs that have to be given by the government. And for example, a congenial and a conducive environment has to be created by the government, whether in terms of availability of land or other benefits in terms of investment. The one good thing, as Mr. Meena also mentioned, was that the investment in this industry is not that huge as, let us say, setting up an automobile industry. But at the same time, it is very, very important that we get the right kind of benefits, because let's say the big boys of the industry have not really entered into the industries yet. I have seen, and I will particularly take the name of one gym manufacturer in India, which is Rajesh Rai, sitting here. He has very doggedly and very pursued the fitness industry and has grown over the years and has set up, even though I haven't been to his factory and I've been wanting to do that for some time, but apparently he set up a very good factory, and which I think kudos to him for having persisted in his pursuance to grow in the industry and to bring let's say, a certain kind of quality standard in the industry in the country, and has started exporting as well. So this is just a beginning, and we need to have more people getting into this, making the right kind of investments with the right kind of mindset and attitude to be able to bring and offer quality not only to India but in the export market. And that is a very, very essential element. We cannot, at least at this given point of time, a gym equipment manufacturer cannot survive if he sets up a good manufacturing unit primarily on the basis of the domestic consumption, which is the consumption in India. It is very, very essential that that manufacturing unit also is able to offer good quality products and enter the international market. Every single manufacturing company today all over the world, I mean, look at what is happening in the US or whether it is Taiwan or Korea or even China. The international market is a huge component of that business. And if that factor is taken away, then it does not make that industry as viable as it should be. So I will leave you with these general thoughts about the manufacturing industry, and we can proceed with the other speakers to give their views on the gym industry.
Thank you, Deepak ji. Thank you for that perspective. To add to your perspective, I would like to invite Dr. Dinesh Kapoor. He's the MD of Fitness World, and Fitness World has already entered into strategic business alliances with American giants for manufacturing world-class fitness equipment. So I would like to hear his perspective on the equipment being used today and how these strategic alliances have helped him build his business. Dinesh, sir? You are on mute.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you very much giving the time. I am Dr. Dinesh Kapoor. I am in this fitness industry from last 27 years. We are selling home equipment as well as commercial equipment in India. And then most of the equipment we import from various countries. We started importing these equipment from Taiwan initially, then shifted to Korea, and we represent a few international brands. And then right now, a major import is from China, because China has established is a world-class fitness facility, and then they are making excellent equipment, which is perfectly in biomechanics. In last 27 years, we had established a lot of a prestigious installation in India, especially Sports Authority of India. We had established 17 gyms, start from Kanyakumari to Shillong. And then we are maintaining this equipment from last 7 years. Apart from that, we had also established so many other institutions like paramilitary forces, police, and then corporates, so many other places. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हमारे को थोड़ा सा एक माइंडसेट चेंज करना पड़ेगा कि जिम इक्विपमेंट जो है वो एक कॉमन मैन आदमी की रिक्वायरमेंट है. दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अदरवाइज इससे पहले क्या होता है कि जब भी हम जिम इक्विपमेंट की बात करते हैं तो सभी सोचते हैं कि ये कॉमन आदमी के लिए नहीं है, ये अमीर आदमियों के लिए है. इवन गवर्नमेंट भी इसी माइंडसेट से देखती है. आज आप देखें 28% जीएसटी इस पे था. हमारी एसोसिएशन ने बहुत एफर्ट्स करके इसको 18% तक कराया, लेकिन आज भी 18% जो जीएसटी है इस वेरी हायर स्लैब. जैसा कि हमारे प्रधानमंत्री बोलते हैं फिट इंडिया मूवमेंट. फिट इंडिया मूवमेंट तभी कामयाब होगी जब ये जिम इक्विपमेंट हर एक आम आदमी के लिए अफोर्डेबल होंगे. आज कोविड टाइम ने सबने देखा कि हमारे को अपनी इम्यूनिटी बढ़ानी चाहिए, हमारे को अपनी इनर पावर बढ़ानी चाहिए, हमारे को अपनी स्ट्रेंथ बढ़ानी चाहिए। लेकिन उसके लिए फैसिलिटी कहाँ है? फैसिलिटी हमारे इतने बड़े कंट्री में बहुत कम फैसिलिटी है। और आज भी जिम इंडस्ट्री को एक डिफरेंट नज़र से देखा जाता है। सबसे पहले तो मैं शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहूँगा कि गवर्नमेंट इस सेक्टर को एक डिफरेंट तरीके से आज देख रही है। हमने जो भी अलायंस किए हैं, दे आर इन प्रोग्रेस। हम भी वर्ल्ड क्लास फिटनेस फैसिलिटी स्टैब्लिश करना चाहते हैं। उसके लिए हमारे को गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से कोई भी इनिशिएटिव नहीं है। मैंने बहुत बार मिनिस्ट्री को लिखा कि हम लोग कुछ जॉइंट वेंचर करना चाहते हैं फॉरेन मैन्युफैक्चर से। आप हमारे को कुछ कनेक्ट कीजिए। अपने जो ट्रेड सेंटर हैं ताइवान में, ट्रेड सेंटर्स हैं अदर कंट्रीज में, लेकिन मुझे अनफॉर्चुनेट किसी के यहां से भी कोई जवाब नहीं आया। और ऐसे ही जैसे सपोज मैं अपनी इंडस्ट्री को रिप्रेजेंट करता हूं इंडिया में, बहुत सारे ऐसे हमारे जो इंपोर्टर्स हैं, दे आल्सो वांट्स टू सेट अप ए यूनिट हियर टू जो आत्मनिर्भर भारत है, वोकल टू जो मोदी जी ने स्टार्ट किया है, हम भी इसमें पार्टिसिपेट करना चाहते हैं। लेकिन उसके लिए हमारे को गवर्नमेंट से सपोर्ट चाहिए। जैसा कि दीपक जी ने बोला, कोई लैंड हो, कोई लो इंटरेस्ट रेट पे हमारे को लोन मिले, कुछ सब्सिडी मिले, कुछ इस तरीके की नो हाउ जॉइंट वेंचर किए जाएं जिससे ये इंडस्ट्री यहाँ पे डेवलप हो और हम जो हमारी जो डोमेस्टिक रिक्वायरमेंट है उसको पूरा करें और एज वेल एज इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में भी इसको बेचें। और इसके अलावा जो अभी एट दिस मोमेंट 90-95% इक्विपमेंट इंपोर्ट हो रहे हैं, बिकॉज हमारे यहाँ कोई भी एथलीट, कोई भी सेलिब्रिटी कोई सब स्टैंडर्ड इक्विपमेंट यूज नहीं करना चाहता। उसके लिए मैं चाहता हूं कि गवर्नमेंट कुछ इस तरीके की पॉलिसी बनाए, बैनिंग इंपोर्ट, इंपोर्ट को बंद करना, इंपोर्ट ड्यूटी बढ़ाना इज नॉट ए क्राइटेरिया। जैसा कि आपने कोल सेक्टर में किया है, जैसा कि आपने स्टील सेक्टर में किया है, कि जिसको भी जो भी चीज इंपोर्ट करनी है, बिफोर इंपोर्टिंग वो एक ऑनलाइन फॉर्म भरे कि वो क्या चीज इंपोर्ट करना चाहता है, किस कंट्री से करना चाहता है, कौन मैन्युफैक्चर है, ताकि गवर्नमेंट के पास एक डाटा आए कौन लोग इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं। अभी ये इंडस्ट्री अनऑर्गेनाइज इंडस्ट्री है, छोटे बड़े मीडियम हर तरीके के लोग जो है ना जी, बिकॉज ऑफ दिस पॉलिसी, ओजीएल पॉलिसी के तहत इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं। तो मैं चाहता हूं कि सबसे पहले इस पे इस तरीके की कोई लिस्टिंग शुरू की जाए, जैसे आपने कोल और स्टील में की है, ताकि अगर सपोज मुझे भी इंपोर्ट करना है तो मैं भी उस फॉर्म को फिल करूं और आप बैकएंड पे गवर्नमेंट इस चीज को मॉनिटर करे कि किस तरह के इक्विपमेंट इंडिया में आ रहे हैं, उनकी क्या प्राइसिंग है, उनके क्या क्वालिटी स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं। दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। दूसरा, मैं चाहता हूं कि इसको एक कॉमन इंडस्ट्री की तरह ट्रीट किया जाए। जैसे आपने बहुत सारी सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट स्कीम्स चालू कर रखी हैं। सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट स्कीम्स में सपोज मैंने अगर स्कूल से ग्रेजुएशन की है या मैंने अपने कॉलेज से, तो मैंने पास आउट होने के बाद मैं इस जिमिंग इंडस्ट्री में अपना एक जिम लगा सकूं। उसके लिए मुझे कोई बैंक लोन नहीं देता, मुझे कोई इंस्टीट्यूशन लोन नहीं देता, बिकॉज इस इंडस्ट्री को अभी तक रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं किया गया है। तो मैं चाहता हूं कि इसको एक रिकॉग्नाइज इंडस्ट्री की तरह ट्रीट किया जाए। तीसरा, जैसा कि प्रधानमंत्री जी बात करते हैं फिट इंडिया मूवमेंट, मुझे लगता है अगर इस इंडस्ट्री को गवर्नमेंट एक अदर इंडस्ट्री की तरह ट्रीट करेंगी तो हमारा जो हेल्थ सेक्टर पे जो एक्सपेंडिचर है लोगों का, वो कहीं ना कहीं बहुत ज्यादा रिड्यूस होगा, लोगों की हेल्थ सुधरेगी। आज अगर हम बात करते हैं, इतना ह्यूज बजट है हेल्थ सेक्टर का, चाहे वो हॉस्पिटल्स हैं, अगर लोग फिट रहेंगे तो मुझे लगता है कि कहीं ना कहीं उनकी सेहत बेटर होगी और हेल्थ पे गवर्नमेंट का जो इतना ह्यूज एक्सपेंडिचर है वो भी कहीं ना कहीं नीचे आएगा। तीसरा, मैं चाहता हूं कि इस इंडस्ट्री में कुछ इस तरीके का प्लेटफॉर्म बनाया जाए जिसमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों को इसका इस्तेमाल हो। जैसा कि अभी देखते हैं आप, हर एक बॉडी ने शुरू किया है जो पार्क्स में जिम लगे हैं ताकि कहीं कुछ लोगों में अवेयरनेस आए। इस तरीके के इनिशिएटिव्स गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से अगर आगे आएंगे तो मुझे लगता है कि ये फिट इंडिया मूवमेंट जो है ना जी और आगे बढ़ेगा। तो मैं तो बस 2-3, बाकी तो मैक्सिमम सुझाव दीपक जी ने दिए हैं, मैं 2-3-4 ये सुझाव देना चाहता हूं ताकि जो है ये इंडस्ट्री और आगे जाए। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
थैंक यू वेरी मच डॉक्टर कपूर। आई एम श्योर मेना साहब ने आपकी सारी बातें सुनी है एंड ऑफ कोर्स आई मीन वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग दैट दिस इंडस्ट्री सेक्टर इज गोइंग टू ग्रो फॉर ओवर 15 बिलियन डॉलर्स की ग्रोथ एंड एक्सपेक्ट की जा रही है इन नेक्स्ट 5 years. So I am sure Mena Saab recognizes this and they have already sat up and taken notice of all these suggestions. But I would like to know, Hanji.
Shushma ji, yes, I am not only I have noted, I just wanted to interact, but with your permission, when can I interact back?
Sir, immediately, because this is a discussion.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
you can respond right away, sir.
There are very good points given by both our opening speakers, Mr. Diwan and Dr. Kapoor. And since Dr. Kapoor has just finished, so the memories are fresh with me. So I fully agree with his concept. Like he said, the self-employment schemes. Let me make the forum aware. Already, the government is supporting the self-employment schemes. There are which are common to all the industry, which this gym equipment industry can take help. The DPIIT, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, is pursuing the startups. We expect startups in this industry also. You have a wish that we instead of importing from other nations, we should start our own, and that is our goal. We wanted to turn around the story. India should not import. India should manufacture. We should export. That is our motto. If Taiwan has opened precision gym equipment establishments and all, we wanted to have our own gym equipment to be established in SAI, the Sports Authority of India, other areas. I wanted to own मेरा भारत में ये मेरा प्रोडक्ट है. मुझे खुशी नहीं मिलती कि इंपोर्ट करके मैं उसको असेंबल करके बना दूं. I have an enormous engineers with me. You give a challenge, they will produce you. They will give you the concept. They will produce you the right amount of precision equipments. So this is our capability. Startups, people can. There are various schemes. The startup India movement, which has been started by DPIIT, it will support you, and there are enormous advantages. And recently, the government has even changed the definition of MSMEs. Maybe when you're talking self-help group, as you rightly said, right out of the college, you wanted to employ yourself. So you can enlist as an MSME with the new definition, and there are various schemes. Maybe I suggest this Udyog Manthan team that this industry should be introduced to the MSME scheme in some kind of a formalized way, so that this awareness should reach. Though people are aware, these are industry leaders, But every day the government is coming up with one or the other scheme just to we are very clear. We wanted to turn around. We wanted to become an exporter, not an importer. Again, we are recognizing gym equipment as also as an industry. That is how we have taken this webinar session separately. And the park equipment, as you said, so the government initiative, yes, it's a nice suggestion. But I will add upon on this that we should utilize the CSR initiatives. The CSR definitions have changed. We can utilize those. The industry leaders should, not only the gym equipment industry, overall the industries. And seeing this pandemic like situation, and maybe we should be prepared for any eventuality for them. So the CSR initiative should go into the health sector, the fitness industry first. This is I'm sharing my thoughts, and JVs are welcome. JVs are welcome. If you can set up, you create employment in this industry. Be it the self-help group. Every individual should be self-earning. That's what we wanted, and we have to turn around again. 90 to 95% import thing is not acceptable. We are open. You want. We will put restriction. We will turn around. You guide us. You lead us, and we will go ahead. That is. You have given a good suggestion. We will look upon as the coal, that form and all. It's a very good suggestion. We will go over it. And as Mr. Diwan has spoken about total quality management, the fitness industry builds the immunity and all. And fully agreed, investment is not huge. It requires right kind of investment. As I said, MSME schemes are there. There are various other ministries have come up with the scheme. The startup is one of the things, so it can be used. And the MD Jerai will also be speaking on. So there will be new ideas. This is what so far I have got, and this is a response. Maybe you can count it from the government side.
Thank you, Minaji. That was right to the point, addressing all the points that Dr. Kapoor made. While you were talking about MSME schemes, let me also tell you, I spearhead India's biggest not-for-profit organization for small and medium enterprises, which is India SME Forum. We have about 87,000 plus members across India. And we'd be very happy to collaborate with Dr. Kapoor in, helping them access various MSME schemes and facilitate their members, and also to reach out actually rural as well as semi-urban India and make gyms as a self-employment option, and also make the rural and semi-urban population aware of, these, make them health conscious with your efforts. So thank you for that. With that, I would like to
I will add upon one more thing. The skill development is there. We have the skill development sector. We have a separate ministry, so you can actually upgrade the skill for the industry what you want. So that is a support already available. It is underutilized. You are the leader. Please go ahead and use it. No.
Absolutely. And of course, as you rightly said, more initiatives and more facilitation is required for bringing licenses, or, licensing technology transfer, and more joint ventures and collaborations rather than imports. So that is one area which needs to be seriously looked into, and initiatives need to be created around it. So with that, yes, I would like to move on to Dr. Jagat Shah.
So Sushma-ji, just 1 second.
Yeah.
I would like to pitch in right now, just because, as you suggested, that we can make reactions can be given on an immediate basis.
Yeah,
so again, I think Mr. Meena raised some very, very, very legitimate points, and even you, since he brought up the subject of MSMEs. and you mentioned about your involvement with the SME. Now, typically what happens in an MSME scenario is that we are talking primarily of investments at, let's say, better rates of interest or facility for investment is given to MSMEs. But it does not take care of, let's say, one of the factors, one of the very, very essential factors of any industry, which is land. Now, if you look at any other industry, there are states that actually very strongly and very aggressively promote, come to our state, we will give you the land that you require at a very concessional rate, and even that they can pay over a period of 10 years or 15 years depending on the size of land and the value of the land. So there are two factors. One is investment into gym equipment, and two, rather the other way around. One, the land that is going to be available for setting up that manufacturing unit, and two, the investment in that industry. Now, what also happens, which is a typical problem here when we now move on to startups, you see, again, self-help or people who want to get into any kind of self-employment soon after college, unfortunately, and it really truly is unfortunate that the current scenario is such that if any gym, if any person wants to set up a gym, there is no NBFC that is willing to finance a gym being set up. And even the banks are very hesitant in supporting any kind of gym, because the unfortunate and the ground reality today is that they have a very poor track record. I belong to the industry. I'm very proud of the industry. Like I said, we're the pioneers in this industry. But the fact of the matter is that the unfortunate truth is that the industry does not enjoy a very good reputation in terms of payback. Now, this is where, again, the government can play a very strong and a very positive role, where identification of the right kind of people to get into the industry who do not give a bad name to the industry, because this has happened so much so that the entire industry is suffering. So we need to ensure that the right kind of people get into it. It's not a question where they see, okay, there are quick returns, and without making any kind of proper plans get into the industry, then they're not able to make the money, or money is misutilized and they don't pay it back, and which causes or has given a bad name to the industry. So that is the correction that has to be done. Secondly, when it comes to stopping import, obviously this is something that cannot be done overnight. The right balance has to be struck, and it has to be done in a proper manner, where over a period of time this transition takes place. Because at the end of the day, if we do not have the right kind of equipment, like I said, we have the technical capability of making well-finished goods. But two of the very important factors in manufacturing is having the right kind of biomechanics and understanding of human physiology. That is what also differentiates even international brands one from the other. How is one equipment better than the other? So that is very, very important. And the other factor, which is a deterrent, again, for people to get into the industry, or for people even to come and use the fitness studio, about which a mention was made by Dinesh as well, is the GST. I mean, the GST, when we started, the GST was introduced, it was at 28%, which has fortunately been brought down to 18%, but it is still very, very high. You look at some of the other countries, smaller countries like Sri Lanka, they were at the same they were positioned in the same kind of manner as India. But over the years, they've understood the importance of the fitness industry, and they have reduced their taxations involved with the fitness industry. And another factor.
I'm going to interrupt you there, because we are kind of repeating the same thing that Dr. Kapoor has mentioned, and Meena Saab has already addressed that. And the industry is evolving, we are evolving, and the discussion is primarily, we want to head where all the international countries are now in this industry. So thanks for that. Yes, Meena Saab.
Shushma ji, Diwan Saab ne bola right kind of people. In the chat box, also Vivek Singh has commented that right kind of people is required. But I see this forum is the forum of the right kind of people. Who will bring the change? This forum will bring the change.
Yes, absolutely.
Let us not point fingers to others that he will do it. he or she will do it. We will do it.
Yes.
That's what we are expecting. You guide us, you lead us, you know the intricacies.
Yes.
But I don't agree with one fact, that the transition has to be smooth. The COVID has given us a scenario where the international sentiment has changed, and India is being looked as a potential manufacturing center from where from where the companies can export everything, whatever their ancillary products or complete finished products. So this is the right time. We have to change our gears.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
We need to be the iron is hot. This is the time we have to do it.
Yes, we need to be the change that we want to see. So we have 3 more speakers who have not spoken yet. So I'm going to move on to Dr. Jagat Shah, the founder of Vibrant Markets, an international market research firm. So in fact, I would like Dr. Jagat Shah to share his experience of working in US and China, and how Indian companies can adopt those models of competitiveness. So over to you, Dr. Shah.
Thank you, Sushma ji, and thanks to the Ministry, QCI and NPC for inviting. Friends, I will just simply say 2 points, and I will relate my both points to my 4 years of working experience in US and 6 years in China. And I was working in a Chinese textile company as a CEO, and I was in a period when I believe, we are today, and how China built its businesses. And we were involved in sports goods industry also, other than textiles. So it is quite a kind of a similarity with the gym industry. Let me quickly figure out some interesting facts. So today, total gym equipment world market is $12 billion, out of which US is importing $2.7 billion of equipment. Out of 2.7 billion, they are importing $1.8 billion from China, and $500 million from Taiwan, and $500 million from Korea. $2.7 billion is almost, you can say, 20,000 crores. And $2 billion they are importing from China, which means the global market is there. Now the question is how China has been able to do, right? So I will speak about that. When we are talking of quality and productivity, primarily we are talking of competitiveness. That is the macro parameter. What is competitiveness? I define competitiveness in 4 sectors. 1, efficiently create goods and services that meet global market demand, leading to rising living standard for everybody in the society, and which is sustainable into the future. Let us look at the first part. The first 2 is economics, next 2 is social part of development. And all 2 speakers earlier, and Minaji, everybody has spoken about this in bits and pieces. Efficiently create goods and services, what China did. And my very strong, humble suggestion to the government of India and DPIIT will be to look at the model how China built. China was also very poor. China did not have quality standards, and very rightly, because they mentioned that they copied Western countries and they customized it to China needs. And today they are exporting to Western with Western country standards. So what's on technology front, a lot of people, in fact, Dr. Dinesh Kapoor was mentioning that he was hunting in government to try to get access to technology. So can we kind of set up, because it's a SME industry, can we set up a common facility center, but one only and world class? And because this industry is matching with furniture and sports goods in a way, that is how China actually clubbed the 3 sectors. And if a common one can be set where there is a partnership between government and private with 50-50 equity of both, right? Then there is an interest in the private sector. See, all these 4 factors which I am saying, there is something which government should do, something with private sector. The 3 governance models are different. China is a different governance model. We do not want that in India. Our governance model is the best, right? So we need not talk about the governance model of China, but what is the best practices from that? So suppose for common facility center where a technology access is provided, it will not cost huge and it can become a birthplace of so many, it's like a spoken hub of so many startups, so many new initiatives which can come up. Number one, that is on the technology front. Where again design, now our Prime Minister has been speaking about zero defect. And let me draw an attention of all panelists here and all participants. In 2011, I had an opportunity to accompany Mr. Modi, who was then the Chief Minister of Gujarat, to China. I am from Ahmedabad. And we had looked at these kind of a facilities of common facilities. How the China has so you know this at the right at the top level, this kind of an understanding exists. So the zero defect part of it. Now there is so much to talk on that front, but let's move to global market demand. Second part. If I was just looking at India's data, and I was surprised that last year we imported 897 crores of gym equipment. 897 crores of gym equipment. And out of that, almost 600 crores we imported from China, right? And in just about 7 months, we have imported 555 crores these last 7 months. But our exports is also 112 crores. I would like to put a recommendation to all the industry people here that this 112 crore which we are exporting under the 6-digit HS code of gym equipment, what are those equipments and who is doing it and how are they doing it? And can we increase that number or value? That will be a very interesting exercise which private sector should or an association should look at. And so global market demand, and I was very surprised that last year we exported only 3 crores of this to Dubai, and this year in just 7 months, we have exported 24 crores of this particular HS code equipment to Dubai, only to Dubai, 3 crores to 24 crores. Can we do analysis? What is all that which went? Which is very easy to do. That will give us a direction that what is it that we can actually boost, which is already happening? What is it new that we can do, which will require a government handholding and a government support? Then the third is rising living standard for everybody. I was very impressed the way all speakers have spoken and Minaji has mentioned, our youth, look, I mean, every year 1.5 crore young Indians are joining job market. Never we will be able to create that many jobs, forget it. Even if we do 20% GDP growth. So self-employment is the only answer. And that is where, again, digital, our Skill India program can be very helpful. And last is sustainable into the future where there is a zero effect. Again, that is a policy of government, zero defect, zero effect, where it can be done. Two suggestions I want to now make on the market front. When lockdown started in April last year, May, June, July was slow period. July onwards up to December, 950 virtual expos took place in the world. 950. Out of that, 770 virtual expos were organized by China. Market, we have to adopt the market-related technology also. This can be done by private sector or an association of gym equipment together with the government. So virtual expo is a market opportunity. Now, let us take a very interesting thing. Yoga. Okay, now we talk of branding. Yoga is Indian, but today it is a global brand. It has been adopted on appeal from our Prime Minister by UN. So if we look at fitness as an industry, as a sector, our traditional fitness, say Malkham, the wooden pole, can we try to also promote this as a way of internationalizing? Everybody earlier used to think that yoga is Indian, how it can be global. Today it is global. So whatever we are already doing as our traditional equipment can also be positioned. Perhaps it will be a long journey, but it can be started. The herbal medicine of China is today a global brand, right? Ayurvedic medicine is not so much. So we need to look at that aspect. Then permanent mart, perhaps, permanent mart. I recall in Guangzhou, Mr. Modi, we had visited a mart which was a permanent mart of furniture. In the furniture session, I had spoken about it. Can there be a permanent mart of this gym equipment, and which can be in partnership? Maybe government can give land very rightly Deepak ji mentioned, land is a challenge today, right? So maybe land can come from government and the investment and running part of it can be done by private sector in a consortia model. This is important. I feel in China, in the beginning stages, particularly 1990s, entire 1990s, most of the development which took place where they were lacking in technology took place through a consortia model. Even though government there plays a big role in, it's a government-led economy. It is not really market-oriented economy. It is, I will say, even it is an artificially run economy. But whatever it is today ruling the world. Is the government in India perhaps can work on that permanent mart kind of a model? And again, e-commerce. See, very rightly, I was surprised. I was looking at some data of Amazon, and I was surprised. There is about 300 million dollar of goods being sold by only Amazon, one company, on gym equipment. So whatever this 112 crore we are doing, I could not find, actually I could not find in Amazon much of our equipment, right? So perhaps I think there is a Government of India initiative on e-commerce also. So that can be married to maybe a private sector. On one last point is on the warehousing abroad. And this is what China again did. Can we see what has started happening is that people all around the world, if we are talking of international market, need the goods nearer to the market. They are not ready to now wait and give an order, open an LC, wait for 2 months, and then look at quality and say, oh, this is not good quality, this is good quality, I will make cut payment for this, and no, that time has gone. Maybe an initiative can be taken by the government in partnership with private sector to set up a warehouse in, say, for example, US. And let our private sector take initiative and risk to stock the goods there. Make goods available nearer to the market next day, tomorrow delivery. Quality, come and see and buy. Payment rotation can be done faster by accepting a local check, by opening a local bank account, which is very easy nowadays of your Indian company. This I believe China did. I used to work in a Chinese textile company as a CEO for 6 years. And we used to have 20 to 30 warehouses around the world. And we would do fashion forecasting, design forecasting, produce goods and ship and sell from the warehouse. I'm talking of 1990s. And gym equipment is a kind of a customized product range. It is not, it is like a standardized product. It is not customized. That if there is a customization, then it is difficult. And the second is DIY concept. I still remember, I'm not very sure about gym equipment, but in the furniture, I still remember China doing the DIY concept and stocking it, and because that's the culture in US and Europe. So perhaps that could be also one of the initiatives between government and private sector. My belief is that whatever should be done in partnership between government and private sector. There should be nothing which should be done only by government, and there should be nothing which should be done only by private sector, because it cannot be done. By private sector alone, it cannot be done. It will require hand-holding and backup and support from government. I liked what Minaji mentioned. Amazing. He was mentioning about college time. Look, 50 years we were importing ventilator from the world. 50 years we were importing ventilator. There are 6 companies in India today, not only manufacturing ventilator. They have one company from Rajkot, whom I know. They exported 1,500 ventilators to Africa under a contract from United Nations. United Nations will not buy substandard equipment. It was a global tender. How we have started making and exporting ventilator when we were importing for 50 years? It is such a sensitive product. We are talking of bioscience in gym equipment. What about ventilator? It is about life of a person. How we have started making ventilators in India now, and we are exporting. We have the talent. There is no shortage of engineering talent or know-how. Or it's just a question of connecting the dots. And I think that is the role which government can play, connecting the dots. Divanji and Dr. Dineshji, I think what's struggling with this connecting the dots part of it. What is the pain point of the private sector is true, but there are also solutions. So I think this kind of a bridge between the two can become a very good starting point. And This is a huge industry. This is always going to remain. This is always going to remain. This fitness is like pharmaceutical. It's like pharmaceutical. Pharmaceutical industry is always going to remain. Like that, this fitness industry is always going to remain. So it is always going to grow. These are my few comments. Thank you for
Thank
giving
you
me.
very much, Dr. Shah. Thank you. Thank you very much. I mean, yes, you said rightly about connecting the dots. Mina sir, with your kind permission, I will finish two speakers and then we would, compile, because I'll come to you for all the closing remarks so you can address all.
Please go ahead. But I was excited to hear Mr. Shah's discourse. So anyway, we will sum up later.
Sure. So moving on to Ritesh Mahindrakar. He is the founder and managing director of Into Wellness Private Limited, and he is the present generation entrepreneur who already he's a gold medalist in mechanical engineering and a project management professional with hands-on exposure to Toyota production system and lean manufacturing practices, which he is already also implemented in his own company Into Wellness. So over to you, Ritesh, how you adopted quality and productivity in your entrepreneurial venture.
Yeah, thanks a lot, madam. Good morning, all. I thank Government of India for taking this initiative of Udyog Manthan and particularly identifying fitness as a priority sector. So we Into Wellness Private Limited are, have set up world-class manufacturing facility in Pune. We manufacture more than 300 different strength products, and we supply pan-India and we export our equipments also. I can proudly say that almost 95% of our components are successfully indigenized. Technical collaboration with one of the international brands, and that collaboration has helped us to go through the learning curve very fast. So I think Deepak ji mentioned about the mindset. Definitely, world, as we all know, is changing at a very fast pace. So for India to become a global manufacturing hub for fitness equipments, and for India to excel on a global scale, we need to have that mindset change. The mindset change from a production mindset to a more holistic view of manufacturing, which would necessarily include research and development, customer service, then integrated production planning and control, smart manufacturing, Internet of Things. So we need to build capacities to take care of the global demand. Then we need to build the scale. We need to work on operational excellence, and we need to develop people competencies in that direction. So we at Into Wellness for the last 3 years have successfully implemented TQM, Total Quality Management, and we have Toyota Production System as a part of our operations. So I'll be sharing with you what kind of learnings we have had while implementing, and I'll be focusing on 3 important aspects. One is process excellence, second is lean manufacturing, and third is people development. So see, we talk about quality, right? Quality can never be inspected. It has to be built in the process. So in our manufacturing operations, we have what is called as FMEA, control plans, CTQ, critical to quality parameter is monitored for each and every process. We have very stringent process audits which we do. Then just to give you an example and context. So for example, for machine components, we have something called a statistical process control. So we have control charts to monitor the quality. For welding, parameters are being monitored. For powder coating process, we have the oven temperature, the conveyor speed that is being monitored. Similarly for other processes. So not only for manufacturing, but for the functional processes as well. For example, we have something called as integrated production planning and control, which helps us to make sure that there are no bottlenecks in the manufacturing. There are no surprises, and we can meet the delivery commitment to our customers on time and in right quality and right quantity. We have a very robust method for vendor and subcontractor development. So we have a very strong vendor management system. Across the shop floor, we have very strong world-class SOPs and work instructions that are there. We look at quality from 3 points of views. One is the product aesthetics, the product functionality, and the product reliability. Because product reliability also, plays a very important role, that the product has to withstand the test of time, the abuse that the product goes through when it is in a commercial gym. The second point that I want to focus on is lean manufacturing. When we started into wellness, when we set up the factory, I firmly believe that lean manufacturing would be our differentiator. That is what can differentiate us as compared to the competition and even global manufacturers. So we focus on waste. Throughout the process, we see each and everything from a customer's point of view. If the customer doesn't find the value in the process, we analyze and see what can be done to improve and reduce the waste. We have Kanban system, we have FIRES, 3C, value stream mapping, then visual management across the shop floor. So if you visit our shop floor, I'm very proud that it is the top notch and world class. Not only if you compare the fitness equipment industry, but the automobile tier 1 suppliers, we can benchmark them, and I can proudly say that our shop floor is absolutely at par with them. Then we have something called as ASQ losses, and reports are being generated by the operators. So they are more accountable towards their work. The third aspect that I want to touch upon is the people development. So, in manufacturing, it is extremely important to have people competencies. How do we upskill the workforce? How do we work on their SKCA? What kind of performance appraisal system that we have? We appraise the employees and the workers based on the kind of value that they are adding to ensure that systems and processes are set in their respective functions. So this is how we have transformed the manufacturing. The time we started and now it has been a transformation. And with the focus, we have built a very strong foundation. And from here on, the scaling up is very easy. Definitely, it is very easy. The next steps for us are we are 6 quality problem solving, and next year we are digitization of wherein industrial Internet of Things, which we say the fourth revolution. The fourth industrial revolution. So accordingly, our operations will be aligned, and definitely, hopefully, in 2 years' time, we will start the cardio manufacturing as well in India, because we have a technology partner. That support is there. The only thing that is required is to scale up and get to that level of starting the operations. Then I also believe that fitness is a sunrise industry. For next 20 to 30 years, it is going to grow. And if we can achieve the goal of ultra premium quality at affordable prices, I'm sure that the world will be our market. And we definitely can create world-class brand and world-class products from India. It's just that we have to step up, we have to think big, and we have to act bold. And I have a few suggestions and recommendations for the government. So I know for a program called as VLFM, Visionary Leaders for Manufacturing. So something of that sort can be made for the fitness industry, because for the manufacturing industry to prosper, it is important to have manufacturing and management skills, a fusion of both. So if we can have a program with IIM, Indian Institute of Management, and IIT combined, and we create a program for CEOs and top management, definitely it will be of a great help.
Thank you, Ritesh. I would like to now invite Shri Rajesh Rai, Managing Director of Jerai Fitness Private Limited. Rajesh ji, do we have you here?
Yes, madam. Can you hear me?
Yes, but we can't see you.
Hello? Okay, madam. I'll start the video.
Thank you. So, we'll be waiting to hear your perspective now.
Sure, madam. Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Pushpa Madam. Good afternoon, Meena sir, and all my friends from the industry. I joined the fitness industry at the age of 15 in 1984 after giving my 10th exam, with a clear vision that I would be surely getting into fitness industry. Within 10 years after completing my graduation and my further education, I started a manufacturing facility, a small 180 square feet factory in 1994. Today, we are having the largest manufacturing facility in the country with over 5 lakh square feet. We are producing one equipment every 3 minutes. Our factory is the only factory which is fully automated. Now, I don't want to talk much about my company. I want to talk about the fitness industry. It's my pleasure to be here today on behalf of our fitness industry to express our vision to be the next global and fitness equipment manufacturing destination. With the government support through the initiative of Vocal for Local and Atmanirbhar Bharat. The current scenario everybody has spoken of in India, our industry is amount approximately $2.6 billion and it's increasing at the rate of 18 to 20% year on year. 80% of our equipment is mainly imported from China, Taiwan, Italy, USA, UK, Germany, and about just 15 to 20% is manufactured in India. And just 2 to 3% is an export market. Top manufacturing and exporting countries are, again, China, South Korea, Taiwan, Italy, USA, Germany, Spain, and United Kingdom. But the Indian consumer base for our industry is getting really aware, increasingly aware, and now educated as we are continuously expanding. However, there is still scope to reach many more users. Currently, our Indian fitness industry is growing for 6 major reasons. First one is COVID-19. Earlier, people used to visit the gym for fitness training, for weightlifting, powerlifting. But since the outbreak of this pandemic, people have understood the importance of health and fitness. Fitness has become a priority now in everybody's lives. That is helping the building our immune system, which is stronger and certainly better than a medical cure. Excuse me. People are now more conscious about their health and fitness. Thus, we would like the government to emphasize on how the health and fitness is becoming one of the most booming industries. Earlier, pre-COVID, people used to go only to the gyms. Now, after the COVID, we have taken it as an opportunity. Earlier, we were making only gym equipment for gyms, for commercial gyms, for hospitality industry, for condominiums, for the societies, building complexes. But now this COVID has taught us a lesson that now people cannot, 2 days back, I got a survey done from the research team from the US. They had said about 80 to 82% gym goers now prefer to work out at home. Therefore, in COVID situation, our factory was shut just for 30 days. We had developed an entire home range series and we have survived the entire COVID situation. Our business did not get affected at all. So there's a big opportunity now. People would be using equipment at home and at the gym. Second aspect is social media. Social media has boosted the importance of health and fitness drastically. New innovative products, supplements, clothing, equipment, newer forms of techniques, online training, continuously being advertised now, which attracts many consumers. Celebrities today, influencers and sports personalities are motivating people to spread the word on spending some time on their personal health and fitness. India's population, now take India's population, which consists of a large percentage of young generation. Now people from the age of 16 to 35, they prefer to have at least a set of dumbbells, an adjustable bench press, or maybe a home gym set up at their home. So they do not miss out on their regular activities, regular gymming training activities. Government funding. Government funding has also increased majorly, and the private sector is also investing in infrastructure like sports clubs, gyms, sports stadiums, and other sporting activities. According to Indian Council of Medical Research, India's obesity rate varies between 11.8 to 31.3%. Obesity being a major cause of cardiovascular diseases pushes people to work out in mainly indulgent sports activities, join gyms, or go for weight training, yoga, or functional training. 6 point, the advancement in technology have largely aided to evolution of fitness. Now, to make India a manufacturing hub of sports and fitness equipment, the basic aspect we need to understand is the know-how technology, the source of raw material, logistics, and how they are easily available in India. As the Meena said earlier said, our automobile industry, steel industry, elevator industry in India is booming. The production and raw material of the sports and fitness equipment is quite similar to that of automobile, steel, and elevator industries. Material like, all the raw material, basic raw materials like steel, plastic parts, cables, metal sheets, wire, rope, screens, leather, inverter, motor, various kind of machinery, everything, all this plant and machinery, all the raw materials are easily available in India. And if we can do it, I think others can easily do it. If we can have a 5 lakh square feet factory, completely automated factory producing equipment every 3 minutes, others can also easily do it. Automobile, steel, and elevator industries are highly capital intensive, as discussed earlier, and it is thriving in India. Almost all the top world-class companies are already in India. Top-class bike companies are already in India. So we can easily become the next global sports and fitness manufacturing hub in India. A few companies manufacture fitness equipment in India. Very few companies doing like us. The Into Wellness is there. 1 or 2 more companies are there. They are making manufacturing equipment, making gym equipment in India. But other players are really like functioning like a cottage industry. A 500 square feet workshop, 1,000 square feet workshop. I basically call them fabricators. They try to pick up a catalog from here and then try to manufacture it because there is not enough government support. There is no infrastructure. The rate of interest is very high. The plant and machinery is not easily available in all those areas. So these are the few suggestions I would like to put up to all of you for the growth of our industry. The crucial aspect is the biomechanical knowledge, technology advancement, procurement of raw material and skilled manpower, etc. There is no dearth of our qualified engineers in India. We have everything, all kind of resources available in India. We can easily make India a superpower here in sports and fitness manufacturing industry. But the basic suggestion which I want to give it here, what the industry needs is, the most important point, madam, here is GST. GST is at 18%, which was 28% earlier. Like fitness, sporting activities is a cure. If there can be a GST from 0 to 5% on medicines, which is later on needed when you fall sick, why there is a GST of 18% on gym equipment or joining a gym? It's a recommendation that it should come to at least minimum 0 to 5% maximum. The reduction of GST of fitness equipment will also ensure that people manufacturing goods within the country and start taking fitness as a priority and not as a leisure activity. The education system, in our education system, there is no courses on fitness. There is no courses on weight training. I recommend the government to include fitness and sports education. It should be made compulsory courses, including as a part of the syllabus for the schools and universities around the country. As a career option, if people want to pursue their dream in the fitness industry, there should be a degree or diploma courses dedicated to fitness. Now, the major problem again is the labor. A very essential part of the production process is the labor force. But luckily now, recently, government has amended a lot of labor laws, which is definitely beneficial to our industry, not just our industry, overall all the industries. The land acquisition. The land is the most expensive part for a person to put up the factory of any industry. The acquisition is very slow, tedious process. No transparency in land dealings for the product production units, no proper warehouse facilities. Land to be designated for manufacturing units and acquiring process should be made simplified. Import. Rules regarding import should be made strict and the government must promote the production in India. However, there should be a minimum of 0% import duty for importing plant and machinery used for manufacturing fitness equipment. Just now, there is a duty from anywhere from 7.5% to 12.5% import duty on plant and machinery. It should come down to 0% if you're putting up a new factory for making fitness equipment. Standardization. There should be a standardization of all the products and a standard MRP of all the fitness equipment. As this will ensure the consumers are aware of the price of each equipment and it does not differ drastically from one brand to another brand. Joint ventures. We need to get into joint ventures from foreign countries. As Deepak Dewan sir had also said earlier, we need to get into joint venture to get the technologies from them. Earlier, if you see, when we started manufacturing car over here, Maruti was with Suzuki. They were a technical collaboration. They started manufacturing over here. We can also get easily into joint ventures. Our company is already in talks with our Taiwanese and Korean counterparts to have a joint venture here and manufacture with us. I'm talking about especially the cardio fitness equipment. We are not manufacturing cardio equipment because the costing becomes very high. But if we get into joint ventures, we can easily manufacture it over here. Export incentives. The companies exporting goods should be rewarded. The export incentive should be at least 8 to 10%. Like in China, Chinese people, they manufacture for $100 and they export it at $100. Are they making any profit? No, they are making straight away 12% incentive, which they get it directly from the government. The day it is exported, the day the bill of entry is filed, the amount of 12% gets credited into their account. So they make 12% margin straight away. Subsidies. Subsidies promised by the state and central government should be paid on time. This will ensure to keep the manufacturing companies motivated and to export more, which in turn will improve the growth of the country and our economy. We need to get into cluster manufacturing. Government should look into the possibility of cluster manufacturing for fitness industry. We should be set up near the automobile industry, as almost all the plant and machinery required for manufacturing automobile industry, our requirement of plant and machinery is very, very similar. The ancillaries are also around those areas. It becomes very easy to procure the raw material and the spare part from these small companies. Similar to the automobile industry, the fitness industry should be set up near the port. If we are looking at making India as an exporting hub, our plant, the manufacturing hub should be nearer to the port. Take it as a Chennai, take it Kolkata, or take it Maharashtra. So it should be nearer to the ports. Easy finance. As the gym industry of earlier, Deepak Dewan sir had also said that no banks or NBFCs finance gym equipment. It is not the fault of only NBFCs or banks. The problem is our industry is not organized at all. People, bankers, they feel, we have spoken to so many bankers, they feel if the person defaults on the payment, what are we going to do with such a huge setup of equipment? Where are I going to keep it? Like if they finance for car, if you go to buy a car, the finance is available within less than 24 hours. Because if the person defaults, they can sell the car to a new buyer immediately. But selling the gym equipment, fitness equipment, it is not easy. Therefore, the finances become difficult. There are many difficulties which bankers are also facing. We need to have a talk to them, and the government initiative should also be taken into consideration. This should come under small and medium enterprise, even the fitness industry, the gym industry. The electrical subsidies are needed. The transportation is a big factor. Like if I'm manufacturing in the state of Maharashtra and I have to export it to Shillong, the one truck costs more than 1.5 lakhs of rupees. To ship one truck of equipment costs 1.5 lakhs. Like if I had to ship 40 foot of container from here to the US, which is about $2,200, which is less than shipping the equipment within my country. So we need to look into that also. All companies should be given instructions on local sourcing as much as possible to ensure that everyone inculcate the habit of consuming Indian products. This is our vision, madam, for the fitness industry.
Thank you, Rajeshji. In fact, that was quite an inspirational talk, because I'm seeing in the chat box, there are a lot of people asking what are the business opportunities in this gym sector now. So I'm sure you have, inspired many of our participants to get into this sector. So, and plus you have also submitted a whole paper of recommendation and suggestion for Meenaji to also, it's like a big request chart for him to act upon. So, sure. So I will come to Meenaji for closing remarks, but before that, we have a last speaker of the panel, Shri Garish Malhotra ji. He's the lab head at Hairlines at Intertech India. Garish ji, are you there?
Yes. Thanks.
He represents testing, inspection, and certification services. So, Garish ji, over to you.
Yeah. Thanks, Sushma. Yeah. So we have heard a lot of good comments from various stakeholders in the industry, from Rajesh ji, Mr. Ritesh, Mr. Deepak Diwa, Mr. Jagat Shah. So let me give you some inputs about the testing, inspection, and certification industry. So myself, Garish Malhotra, I'm the lab head at Intertech India. So I'm representing TIC Council. TIC Council can support the industry with the testing, inspection, certification, and factory audits. So to improve quality of products and in fact to improve quality output of a factory, we need to implement certain standards. As Ritesh ji has said a lot about their facility where they have implement good systems. Yeah, that's obviously helps a factory to do a good manufacturing and also is capable to exports. So from our side, like a factory should comply with various standards, like for social compliance, we should meet SETEX, BSCI, RAP audits, CTPAT audit for the security audits, technical audit as per ISO 9215 guidelines, and environment audit as per ISO 14001 guidelines. So with these compliances, you are eligible to export your products to international market, and you need to test, but at the same time, you need to also test your products as per international standards. So with respect to testing, I would like to update you that there are various standards available, and these are also country specific. Like if you would like to export to US, there is a ASTM standard. If you like to export it to the European market, there is a EN standards. Similarly, for Australia and Canada, there are different standards and along with ISO standards. So let me give you a brief about fitness equipment testing standards. So majorly, there is a series of EN 957 and ISO 20957 standards. For example, for the stationary training equipment, there is a dedicated standard called EN 971 Part 1 and ISO 20971 Part 1. Similarly, for the strength training equipment category, there is a dedicated standard that is EN 97 Part 2 and ISO 2097 Part 2. Similarly, for the different categories, there are different standards. Like for treadmills, there's a EN 976 Part 6 standard. So what is written in these testing standards? So let me give you an example of one of the standards, that is ASTM F2276, which is for stationary fitness products. So in this talks about performance testing, like functionality of the product, its stability, intrinsic loading. So under intrinsic loading, what we do is it should withstand a static load 2.5 times the max specified user weight or 750 lbs. So under extensive loading, the fitness equipment and user supports shall not break when loaded by a maximum specified user weight person and the maximum extrinsic load as specified by the manufacturer. And similarly, under endurance testing, the equipment shall be capable of normal function after being operated with max user weight. Let's say different standard talk about different cycles. Say this ASN standard talks about 14,000 cycles. Similarly, for the much endurance equipments, they talk about endurance capability up to 1 lakh cycles or 2 lakh cycles. Now, the other aspect is the construction and workmanship of these equipments. Like these have some edges, corners, tubes, and there should not be any finger entrapments while working on the equipment. In case there are some electrical equipments, then those should meet the electrical safety requirements like leakage current test, dielectric voltage withstand test, strain relief test. So apart from this, if you talk about the weightlifting bar sets, which is a very common product, but in case you are making a composite material for bars, then they may lead to warping or distortion at extreme conditions. So product should be tested to meet extreme temperature requirements, like it should be tested up to minus 40 degree Celsius to plus 60 degrees Celsius, so that in whichever country the product is lying, it should not warp or distort. Similarly, for the again composite material bars, there's a test called abrasion resistance, which is related to wear and tear. At times, the edges are chip off, and then they lead to a bad quality product. So, by doing the abrasion test, we can ensure that the product will not wear, tear, chip off during the regular functioning of the usage, and that will help you to make the good quality product. Apart from physical mechanical testing, yes, there are many chemical testing requirements, especially for the European market. Let's say for the electrical and electronic components, the product should be RoHS compliant, should be REACH compliant, and there are some very basic chemical tests for which the raw material is easily available in the market, be it lead, cadmium, for the paints, phthalate content test, pH content test, and wherever the leather fabric is used on the equipment, wherein there is a prolonged contact with skin, like there is very chemical tests like azotize, formaldehyde. So these type of raw materials are easily available in the market, which are already compliant and you can use. So with this, if our existing manufacturers and new startups can comply to these standards, for sure we can export a lot of many products, and TIC Council can support you all in this growth journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This entire discussion has been quite insightful, and it has also thrown upon a lot of opportunities that exist in this sector. Yet there remains a lot to be done. So in fact, I was looking at all the questions that have popped up in the chat box, and they all seem to be addressed at Meena sir. So I'm going to I'm going to just read out these questions, and they more or less they revolve around what are the measures that government is taking to build the process capabilities within India to boost manufacturing of sports good and equipment and meeting international standards. What are the steps taken to build the infrastructure to develop more components and raw material to be procured locally instead of depending on China? And of course, funds, lack of funds and cost of BIS licenses is extremely high. So that is something that startups cannot fund. So these are some 4 to 5 questions majorly targeted towards policy and expectation from the government. So I would request you, Meena sir, to include all of this in your closing remarks, so that we are able, in the essence of time, we are able to clear all these Q&A in your closing remark. And one remark I would like to make is that with the Ministry of MSME, we are working on the concept of flatted factories. So that probably solves the issue of land, which a lot of startups and micro and small entrepreneurs in this sector may be facing. So when we look at flatted factories, the problem of funding also gets catered to a certain extent. So that was one point that I wanted to make. And with that, over to you, Meena sir, for closing remarks. And I request you to cover these points in your remarks. Thank you.
Madam, 1 minute.
Shoshmaji, we have a representative from BIS.
Yes.
We should give her a chance, but Mr. Shah is leaving the meeting. So, ma'am from BIS, please wait. I've heard the speaker. Let me first congratulate the team of Udyog Manthan, NTC, QCI for bringing in such stalwarts on the forum. If I go by name, if you with due respect to everybody, we have Jagat with us. And we have Deepak. We have our golden boy. So everybody, if you see the name itself reflects what they are doing it. And I must compliment Mr. Shah, Mr. Jagat, that he is perhaps an encyclopedia of all the statistics. the way he has compiled, in my opening statement, I said we have the marketeers. So here is an example. He knows how to market our product, how we have to shift. He has covered all. I will request Mr. Shah that you must share all these statistics. A fantastic abridged version you had shared with us. So it should be shared with us, which we will be looking into further, and that will be helpful. And I was astonished that you had covered the traditional part of this industry, Malkham. It is the genesis of the present industry, perhaps started from the concept of Malkham, yoga, and all. So I must compliment that you have in-depth study about the subject. And to take it further, you are from Gujarat, the Kankaria Lake. Why not? We can think of a museum on gym industry. And coming back to our golden boy, he's a mechanical engineering. Coincidentally, I'm also a mechanical engineer. So, but not as bright as you. You are our golden boy, and all those concepts which during my engineering day I have studied, you have implemented it. We learned it, we scored, and we passed. But here is one bright example who has implemented it. It has to be connected, Ritesh. It has to be connected. You have to connect with the college and the school student. So why not tourism, the gym tourism, there's this manufacturing. As Rajesh mentioned about a curriculum, about courses. Though Rajesh, if we recall, during our school days, there used to be a sports period, maybe in a week, 1 or 2, or a CCA period, curriculum activities and all. So the yoga period is also there. So that is there, but perhaps you wanted more. Your appetite has not finished. You wanted more. So that's good. We should think about it. There are courses. You can make sports as a career. There are diploma. There are degrees available. I may be corrected. This is a bird's eye view concept with me. So Ritesh, and coming back to you, so some kind of tourism has to be developed where you should tie up Pune. I know I have been posted there. So Pune is a hub of educational institutions. There should be a tie-up. You should invite them. The students should see your concept and all. Not only engineering, others also. The quality is everywhere, and perhaps the word of mouth publicity will go. The gym industry people will be taken seriously. In olden days, when we used to play more, our parents used to feel that we are a spoiled brat. So the scenario has changed now, no doubt. So it has to be further improved that yes, it can be not only your study, it will be your it will give you bread and butter. So that has to be changed. And there are various concepts connecting the dots and all. Yes, we are connecting the dots with this Udyog Manthan. This is one stepping stone. If Rome was not built in one day, we will not be able to change this industry overnight. There are many things to do. Government, as the speakers have said, government alone cannot do. It has to be synergy between the government and the private player, individuals, the mindset. It's a propagation of this information. So it will be done, and we have to keep on pursuing. The industry has to pursue. Government will pursue. Let me, as I earlier mentioned, that MSME schemes and all are there. There are various schemes. The government has introduced generic schemes wherein the industry can benefit. I can vouch. I know in Jammu and Kashmir, one of the industry they have put up this health this gym equipment plus hotel and all. So they will be given subsidies. There are subsidies available. The state government has their own. Even people are talking about land. I have attended certain seminars of the states where they are they have schemes for land also, a take concession or some kind of concept. So we have to come together. We have to look into all this. So perhaps there might be government is offering a lot, but it is not being utilized. It is the concept like this Udyog Manthan are required more to create more awareness. That is what I feel. So I am, and government is open. And the best part of the present government is you give ideas. You are the leaders. We will follow you, and in the times to come, the reforms will happen, and the reforms will happen. We will perform also as per your requirement, as per your guidance. So this is the best part of the present government. So with this, and I kindly I thank all the speakers for contributing their valuable time and coming on this platform. But before we finish, over to BIS madam. So she is an expert. So somebody commented about BIS, so she can brief us. Thank you.
You are on mute, madam.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Uma, Member Secretary of the PCD 28 Sports Goods Sectional Committee. This committee also deals with the formulation of Indian standards for gym equipments. I would request all the participants to actively participate in the formulation of Indian standards on the subject. You may contact BIS for the membership of the committee. I will be sharing the email ID. One more thing I would like to say is that at present we have some 3 or 4 standards on gym equipment which are in draft circulation, which are presented as a draft circulation. For draft circulation, all interested members can comment on this. Please make it an active participation from the industry also. So at present, these are not compulsory standards. In case this becomes a compulsory standard by made as compulsory by Government of India, it will be for the benefit of all. If all the requirements are agreed to by the industry and the lab and other stakeholders. If anyone has more doubt, and regarding cost of BIS licenses, there is a different rate for small scale industries and bigger industries. You may write to us, you can make a representation and it will be looked into.
That's what they require, ma'am.
Yes, please write to us.
But please consider, I'm switching over side. I'm on their side.
Which side, sir?
The industry side.
We are also on the side of we are also liking to support the industry only. In fact, last 2 days back there was one Udyog Manthan's webinar on sports goods that also we attended. But I feel this webinar people were more participation was really excellent. Not in terms of number, but in terms of content and the discussion which went on here. Please write to us. So many other standards will be put up for wide circulation for comments. Please do comment and let there be no complaints later on that we were not consulted. Please make it a point to take an active participation in the formulation of Indian standards on sports goods. That is my request. You can visit our website also. You can, if you want to become a member of the standards formulation committee, you can make a request there. I'll be sharing the same message which I shared with others in the chat box now. Okay, sir, that is what I wanted to say. Any other queries, we can you can write to us at this email. We will be very happy to answer you. As of now, also we are the present document in circulation is on stationary training equipments only.
Yes.
It is on stationary exercise bicycles and treadmills.
Thank you, madam, for steering the meeting. And people have talked about the standardization, and this is the correct moment, and you have introduced the thing, and I'm sure then the suggestions will come to you.
Sir, one more thing I want to add. People, all of us talked about American standards, DIN standards. So let us have our own standards, which can be a dual standard, ISO standard, which will be world class. So in case our participants are having knowledge of other standards, please take part in standardization of BA standardization work and share the details with us so that we can make a very robust standard for the industry.
Shushma ji,
yes.
Though our time for the webinar is just completing, but if you permit, yes, I will take 1 or 2 more minutes.
Please.
I noted one of the suggestions given by Jerai CEO Rajesh.
Yes.
And he has mentioned about the basic component of an industry to be set up. How it has to be near to the port and all. Rajesh, I just wanted to share at the latest update. You must be aware, 2 days back only, Honorable Prime Minister has inaugurated the double stack container movement railways, the dedicated freight corridor. We have India is building up the western and eastern corridor. Now, perhaps this constraint of basing the industry near the port will be taken care of with double stack container with speed. It will the transportation costs will come down, and railways is doing fantastic to connect across the country, and the freight corridors are separate. So gone are the days when the freight trains were waiting. Now, so perhaps you can set up industry anywhere. You go for a place where cheap land is available. If you want to have a land near port like Mumbai and all, it's a costly land. Maybe government may or may not be able to help you, but you can help yourself. Go to the rural. You can set up your warehouses on your own. And here we have this container movement, so it can be taken from your factory on a truck and onto the train. We have a railway concept of roll out. If who are based in Maharashtra, in Konkan Railway, from years together it is running. So the truck itself can be loaded onto it. So that is one transportation aspect I'm bringing forth. You must be aware. You are the pioneers and leaders, so you must be knowing. But this is a recent development. I wanted to make a mention. So government is firing from all cylinders everywhere. We are connect. We wanted to cover up the aspect and to support industry. But yes, it's a transition. It cannot be done overnight. So we will do it. This is our belief, and one day we will meet. Maybe assignments will change and all, but one day I'm sure you will be one of the biggest manufacturer and exporter of manufacturing of gym equipment industry. That is my dream, my vision, my wish. Thank you very much. Thank you for hearing me and giving me so much of time, Shushma ji. Over to you.
In fact, it was a pleasure hearing you, and I mean, it was like these speed fires, rapid fire rounds, because people were talking and you had your answers ready, and this is done, this is done. So it was absolutely a fantastic panel discussion today. In fact, I would like to, before I hand over to QCIN, I would like to thank my co-panelists for interacting with me here today, and specifically to Meena sir for being such a fantastic and patient, at the end to respond to all the questions. So thank you very much, and over to QCI Shivangi. You are on mute.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rajshri this side. On behalf of QCI, I would like to thank Ms. Sushma Murthania for moderating the session and all the esteemed speakers for sharing the useful insights and perspectives towards the development of the gym equipment sector. We realized from this engrossing discussion that the fitness industry has a lot of potential for improvement in areas of infrastructural development, reduction in import dependency, introducing more curriculum in the educational institutions, and making India an international manufacturing hub. While realizing the ideal of Atmanirbhar Bharat, a change in mindset is the need of the hour to induce more awareness in the sector and prioritize it more in the light of the current pandemic of COVID-19. All the recommendations heard today will be shared and will greatly contribute towards the preparation of the final compendium, which will be released after the conclusion of the webinar series. We are really grateful to all the attendees for being part of today's session and making it very enriching. I now declare the session closed. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.